Are you truly in control of your life? Or is your mind silently pulling the strings behind the curtain? You can train your body every day, become physically strong, but if your mind remains untrained, the collapse begins from within. And the scariest part? It's not that you're weak. It's that you're so strong you don't realize you're quietly breaking. What if I told you that the life you're living is just a distorted mirror of your own thoughts? Yes, the beliefs you carry deep inside are either shaping you or slowly destroying you. The mind can be your greatest ally or your harshest executioner. Because if you're not the one steering it, it will drag you where you never wanted to go. This video isn't just reflection, it's a wake-up call, a bold invitation to face what's truly happening within. Today, I'll show you how your thoughts are shaping your reality minute by minute, and more importantly, how you can reclaim that reality from the root. Through the lens of Stoic wisdom, you'll discover how to master your mind, transform your identity, and forge an unbreakable version of yourself from the inside out. Get ready, because what you're about to learn won't feel comfortable, but it's essential. It's time to stare into the eyes of your own mind and take back the reins. But before we dive into the framework, let me tell you a story. Because sometimes it's not the weak who break, it's the strong, those who never saw the signs that they were losing control. And that story begins with Damien, a trainer built on strength and willpower, who faced a kind of pressure no gym had ever taught him to resist. After hearing Damien's story, ask yourself, what thought will you transform today to start reshaping your life? Just take a moment, or simply drop this comment below. I am a Stoic. Today, I take back control of my mind. It's not a pledge to anyone else, it's a promise to yourself. Your mind decides everything. Picture your mind like a movie camera, but not just any camera. One that applies an invisible automatic filter, altering the colors of every scene without your knowledge. Sometimes it darkens your world. Other times it distorts the tones so much that nothing feels real anymore. The truth? You're not watching the actual film of your life. You're watching what your mind permits you to see. You don't see the world as it is. You see it as you are inside. Do you wake up, see a cloudy sky and traffic, and instantly assume, this day's gonna be terrible? If so, listen carefully. It's not the day. It's your mind writing the script before the movie even begins. And that's not a small thing. That automatic lens you use to interpret reality is shaping your feelings, your actions, and most of all, who you're becoming. Neuroscientist Andrew Huberman explains it clearly. There's a mental filter in your brain that determines what you'll notice and what you'll ignore. If you begin the day thinking everything will go wrong, your brain will search for proof. Your boss looks serious. Something's off. Someone doesn't reply. They must be mad. Huberman says if you want to change your life, you must start by directing your attention. For instance, if your keyword today is clarity, your brain will begin to look for ways to create clarity in your day. It sounds simple, but it shifts how you show up in the world. And Epictetus, once a slave, later a philosopher, already understood this. Men are not disturbed by things, but by the views they take of them. He didn't react on impulse. He paused, he questioned. And what would have broken others made him stronger. I remember someone close to me, peacefully drinking coffee, suddenly struck by the thought, what if my daughter loses her job? No reason, no signs, But his mind sprinted toward catastrophe and the present moment vanished. We've all done this. That's why training your mind is vital, because if you don't take charge, your mind will, and it rarely takes you somewhere. Good. So what can you do? First, change the question. Don't ask, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this happening for? Second, perform a mental reset midway through your day. Just 5 minutes. Breathe, pause, recenter. Don't tell me you can't spare 5 minutes in 24 hours. Third, choose a keyword each morning. Something simple like focus, calm, or strength. Write it. Hold it. Let it guide you back when your mind tries to spiral. In the end, it's this. If you don't choose your thoughts, they'll choose you, and they'll shape you without your consent. Now let's dig deeper into one of the most toxic mind traps. We fall into daily the scarcity mindset. Previously, we explored how your perception shapes your life. But there's another silent force that holds people back. Smart people, driven people, without them even realizing it. That force is the scarcity mindset. Get out of scarcity. Have you ever scrolled through social media, seen someone traveling across Thailand, launching a new business, doing sunrise yoga, and your first thought was, some people really have it all? Or maybe you watch an inspiring video and think, I wish I could do that, but my life just isn't like that. It's not that you can't. The issue isn't what others have, it's what you believe you're missing, because scarcity doesn't start out there. It begins in here. It disguises itself as realism, but beneath the mask, it's just fear. And unless you change that lens, you'll keep believing that good things are for others, and you're only meant to settle for leftovers. Let me tell you about Conway Singh, better known as Humble the Poet. Once a school teacher with a steady life, he left it all behind to pursue music and writing. No, it wasn't glamorous. He went broke, went into debt, battled self-doubt daily. He often thought, this just isn't for someone like me. One of scarcity's favorite lies. Until one day, he stopped asking if he deserved more, and started acting like he already did. He called it uncomfortable abundance, not pretending to have it all, but taking steps forward with faith that he could build it. And today, he's an author, speaker, artist, and living proof that abundance begins from within, through action, not excuses. Epictetus, the Stoic who was once a slave, said it best, if you desire all you see, you become a slave to what you don't have. The more you focus on what's missing, the smaller you feel. But when you focus on what you can build from where you are, you free yourself, because you no longer need the world to be perfect to begin. Jeff Olson said in The Slight Edge, big results come from small decisions made daily. Scarcity whispers, if you can't change everything now, why bother? That's how you lose, waiting for more time, more energy, more resources, abundance. It asks a better question. What can I do today with what I already have? Picture this. A friend texts you excited about launching their startup. You smile, say congrats, but inside think, I once had that idea too. But it wasn't the right time. That thought slips by, but it sticks. And if you don't challenge it, it begins making choices for you. So what should you do? Stop looking at what others have. Ask, what can I create with what I already have? Make a list, your skills, free time, your story, your connections. Then ask, how do I start today? Because what you feed in your mind grows. And if you ever feel late, just repeat, I'm not late. I'm in progress. This life isn't a store with limited stock. It's a buffet, but if you don't get up, you'll stay hungry. So get up, think differently, act differently, and you'll see your mind slowly stop limiting you and start setting you free. Now that you've broken free from scarcity, it's time to unlock the next key: how to think like a winner. Previously, we shattered the scarcity mindset. Now, to truly level up, you need something even more powerful: the ability to think like a winner. Think like a winner. Picture yourself as an F1 driver. You're on the grid, hands gripping the wheel, eyes locked on the signal lights. In just seconds, the entire race will launch. But the most important thing at that moment, not the engine, not the tires, is what's happening in your mind just before you hit the gas. If your inner voice whispers, "I'm not ready, I'll get past in the first corner," you've already lost, not because of lack of skill, but because you're not thinking like a winner. True winners don't wait for victory to believe in themselves. They step onto the track as if they already belong on the podium. Not from arrogance, but because they know something most people miss. The mind drives first. Everything else follows. And no, this isn't a modern idea reserved for athletes. Nearly 2,000 years ago, Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius had already mastered it. In Meditations, he wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." It wasn't just poetic, it was survival. He ruled amidst wars, betrayal, political chaos. Could he afford to think like a victim? Of course not. He trained his mind for strength, calm, and clarity because he had to lead. Now imagine you're heading into a big job interview. You've prepared well, you're qualified, but as you enter the building, your thoughts shift. "My palms are sweaty. I hope I don't stumble on my words." That self-doubt pushes you into a defensive posture. You're not underqualified, you're thinking like an imposter. This isn't guesswork. Neurologist Ethan Kross, author of Chatter, found that people who coach themselves in the third person, "You've got this, breathe, stay focused," performed better under pressure and handled stress with greater clarity. So, want to think like a winner? Start here. Be a modern Stoic. Before a big moment, get quiet. Breathe. Remind yourself, do what nature requires, give your best, let go of the rest. Visualize your victory. Picture yourself already succeeding. How would you walk, talk, show up? Start from that version of you. Affirm with purpose. Not cheesy slogans. Real, grounded encouragement. Let's go. You're not the best yet, but you're getting closer. And above all, remember this: act as if you already are who you want to become, and you'll eventually become it. Because what you think, repeat, and visualize becomes your identity. Your mind is the driver. If you don't take the wheel, it'll drive itself, and it might not take you where you want to go. Comment below. If you started thinking like a winner today, what would you say to yourself? Share it. Let others be inspired. And maybe, finally, you'll start believing it too. Now that you know how to think like a winner, it's time to unlock the next level, mastering your emotions. In the last section, you learned that a true winner doesn't just perform, they master their emotions. Now it's time to go deeper. How do you actually take back control when emotions flare up? Master your emotions before they master. You sure people will annoy you, things will frustrate you. That's life. But the real question is, are you truly going to hand over your peace, your energy, your entire day just because someone else can't manage theirs? That's like walking into a fancy restaurant, ordering an expensive meal, realizing it tastes awful and still finishing every bite, complaining the whole way, and then coming back again tomorrow. Sounds ridiculous, right? And yet, that's exactly what we do when we replay a 5-second irritation for hours. Speaking of 5 seconds, have you heard of Mel Robbins' book, The 5-Second Rule? She shares a ridiculously simple, powerful technique. When you're about to react impulsively, count backward from 5. Just 5, 4, 2, 1. That small pause interrupts your brain's autopilot and hands control back to your rational mind. It may sound silly, but it works. Because in those 5 seconds, you choose who's in control, you or your emotions. Love short pauses? Then this line from Marcus Aurelius might resonate. The best revenge is to be unlike the one who wronged you. Reacting like your opponent doesn't make you powerful. It makes you the same. And when you mirror someone lacking virtue, you lose the one thing you can actually control, your mind. So how do you train your emotions to serve you instead of sabotage you? Here are 3 practical tools. First, when something triggers you, count 5 seconds before responding. Just 5. That space could save a relationship, avoid an argument, or preserve your peace. Second, ask yourself, will this matter tomorrow? If the answer is no, don't give it more space in your mind, because what you obsess over, you become. Third, write your emotions down as if you're observing them from outside. Don't say, I'm angry. Say, I notice anger within me. That subtle shift creates distance between you and the storm. And when you're outside the storm, you can think clearly, because mastering your mind isn't about suppressing emotions. It's about choosing which ones walk beside you and which don't deserve a seat at your table. Remember, what you think, what you repeat, and what you allow inside becomes who you are. Now that you've learned to tame your emotions, it's time to train the silent architects of your future, your daily habits. Let's move on to the next chapter. Train your habits like a warrior. Remember what we explored earlier? Creating small habits that shape a strong mind. Now let's go one step further, into the simple yet powerful idea of building your own mini-victory routine every morning. Train your habits like a warrior. No, you don't have to wake up at 5 a.m. or meditate for 40 minutes straight. This isn't about extreme routines. It's about starting your day with 3 small intentional actions that give you a sense of early victory. It could be writing down a powerful quote, drinking your coffee in silence for 5 minutes, no phone, stretching, and taking one deep, grounding breath before you get dressed. They may sound small, but done consistently. They reset your mental rhythm like tuning your mind before you step onto life's stage. Next is the idea of anchor, habits, mental practices you attach to things you already do daily. For example, after your coffee, read one inspiring page. While brushing your teeth, repeat an affirmation like, "Today, I act with clarity." When dressing, say to yourself, "I'm becoming stronger every day." Simple, right? But that's where the magic lies, in repetition, in training your brain to return to focus every single morning. You've probably realized by now, you don't have to change your whole life at once. You just need to lay one brick, then another, then another. This isn't about some magical overnight transformation. It's about building mental strength through habits, repetition, and conscious choice. And if you're wondering when change shows up, here's the truth. It's the day you wake up, follow your routine without thinking and say, "Today, I'm in control." That's when you'll understand. The thoughts you repeat are shaping you. And when you train your habits, you're simply training the person you're becoming. But now it's time to go even deeper, into the invisible limits that live inside you, your beliefs. Let's move into the next part. Change your beliefs, change your life. Previously, you learned how to rewrite the beliefs that silently limit you. Now it's time to step into a core Stoic principle, using your obstacles as fuel for growth. Use the obstacle to your advantage. Imagine a gym without it. Weights. Useless, right? You can have the best playlist, the best lighting, the fanciest machines, but without resistance, there's no progress. Your mind works exactly the same way. If life was always easy, if nothing ever challenged you, if every plan
flowed without friction, your mental strength would atrophy.
It wouldn't grow. Because true mental power isn't built in calm. It's built in chaos. And in those moments of struggle, you are becoming whatever you choose to think. Marcus Aurelius said it best. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. He didn't write that sitting comfortably at a desk. He wrote it during war, sickness, betrayal, and collapse, but he didn't give up. Why? Because every obstacle wasn't a punishment, it was training. Few people have embodied this more than Mo Gawdat, a former Google X executive. He had it all: success, wealth, status. Until one day, his 21-year-old son, Ali, passed away suddenly. His world fell apart. There's no way to soften a pain like that. But Mo made a single decision that changed everything: to transform pain into purpose. Instead of letting grief destroy him, he wrote Soul for Happy and began teaching what he learned the hardest way possible. You can't control what happens, but you can control how you think about it. And sometimes that's enough to find meaning. That's Stoic wisdom to the core. Accept reality. Don't sugarcoat the pain, but consciously choose your response. Because what happens to you doesn't define you. What you think
about what happens does. Now imagine this: your big interview gets cancelled, your project is delayed, someone lets you down. What do? Do you spiral and give up? No, that's the voice of an untrained mind. But you're building a stronger
one. Here's how. 1. Make your list of star obstacles, the setbacks that once hurt you but now you're grateful for. You'll be surprised how many disasters were actually blessings in disguise. When life throws a curveball, whisper this to yourself. This is today's training. Imagine you're in a mental gym and each unexpected moment is a new weight to lift. Find the hidden benefit. Not to ignore pain, but to ask, what is this teaching me that I wouldn't have learned otherwise? Because some obstacles aren't punishments, they're teachers, brutal, uncomfortable, but necessary. What's blocking you today could be the very thing that makes you unstoppable tomorrow. You don't need the problem to go away. You need to face it and say, thank you for the lesson. Because when you learn to use the obstacle to your advantage, every fall becomes momentum, every mistake becomes wisdom, and every thought you choose pulls you closer to who you were meant to become. Ready to sharpen your mental vision and shape your reality from the inside out? In the next part, you'll learn how to visualize with purpose, not to fantasize, but to train your mind for victory. Shall we? In the last section, you learned how to use obstacles to your advantage. Now let's dive into a silent but powerful tool: visualization. The kind Roman warriors and modern leaders used to win before the real challenge begins. Visualize it until you make it. Before going into battle, Roman soldiers didn't just sharpen their swords or review tactics. They closed their eyes and pictured survival. They imagined dodging attacks, standing their ground and raising their fists in victory. It wasn't superstition, it was mental preparation. They knew if you win in the mind first, you increase your chances of winning in reality, and you, though not in war, are also fighting battles against doubt, fear, and old habits. So yes, you need to visualize too. Remember what Marcus Aurelius said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Each thought is a brushstroke. If your mental canvas is filled with fear or "I can't," you sabotage yourself before you even begin. But if you fill it with clear images of who you want to be, how you'll get there, what it'll feel like, then something inside begins to shift. Stephen Bartlett, host of The Diary of a CEO, once shared that he didn't just visualize success. He visualized the tough parts, the doubts, the failures, the messy days. That's what kept him going when things went wrong. Because visualization doesn't just inspire you, it prepares you. Now it's your turn. But skip the cliché fantasies like, "I'm a millionaire on a beach." No, really see yourself. Close your eyes. Picture your life 5 years from now, a normal day. What time do you wake up? What kind of work do you do? What no longer drains you because you've grown? If you do this right, something inside you will shift. Because deep down, that future is possible. Step 1. Don't just visualize the result. See yourself facing the fear. How do you bounce back on a bad day? Because if your mind only practices happy endings, reality will hit hard. Step 2. Create a mental trailer. You're the main character. It's not released yet, but you've already lived it. What do you say before a big challenge? How do you feel after stepping into the unknown? Make it so vivid your brain believes it's already real. Step 3. Build a visual space, a vision board, a sticky note, a folder of meaningful images. It doesn't need to be pretty, just visible. Because what you see daily shapes what you believe is possible. Visualization is not daydreaming, it's training, and like any training, it starts hard, but it gets easier, because what you think every day is what you're becoming still.
Unsure? Think of it this way: no one builds a house without a blueprint. And if your mind can't see it, your hands can't build it. Now that your mind can see the destination, it's time to build the right tribe, because the people
Around you can either elevate your mind or drain it. Choose wisely. Previously, you learned how to visualize your ideal future, but every seed needs fertile soil to grow, and that soil is your environment, especially the people you surround yourself with. Choose your people. Wisely, imagine having 2 torches. One burning bright, one completely out. Bring them close and the fire spreads. But what if the lit torch is surrounded by wind and water? It'll go out too. Your mind works the same way. Surround it with growth and you thrive. Surround it with negativity and you slowly wither. Maybe you've heard this before. You tell your friends you're starting a new habit. They laugh. Wow, you got boring fast. You share a business idea and someone says, "So-and-so tried that and totally failed." Do you see it? You don't need enemies. Just being around people who mock your efforts is enough to make you quit. And little by little you stop trying without even realizing it. Epictetus said it best: avoid talking too much with ordinary people, or you'll become ordinary yourself. It's not arrogance, it's self-protection. Your mind is like a plant. Put it in a dark corner, it won't grow. Give it light and space, it'll bloom. Now picture Epictetus in a modern group chat full of silly memes, complaints, and conspiracy theories about bread. How long would he last? Not long. Because
he knew every conversation is fuel.
And if you want to run well, you don't fuel with junk. Here's your challenge. Do a quick social audit. Write down the people you talk to most weekly. Ask, do they inspire me or drain me? Do they push me forward or feed my doubts? Yeah. Use the 3 filters. Before joining a conversation, ask, does this help me grow? Does it bring me peace? Does it make me laugh with purpose? If the answer is no to all, maybe it's not worth your time. Don't have the right circle yet? No problem. Look for creators, podcasts, books, online communities that uplift you. What matters is what they spark in your mind. Even this. Video can be that spark because it's not just about more people. It's about better conversations, the kind that make you come alive, that remind you what you're capable of. And now, be honest. Do you have someone in your circle who's holding you back? What conversation do you need to have, with them or with yourself? Share it in the comments. Sometimes just saying it aloud is what sets change in motion. And if you truly want full control over your mind, there's still one final piece, the most important one, the one that separates those who grow from those who stay stuck. Ready to hear it? It's time to let go of what's holding you back. Let go of the guilt, the old mistake, the identity you've outgrown. Because only when you release the anchor can you truly set sail. In the last section, we spoke about letting go, not forgetting, but choosing not to let the past write your present. Now I want you to take action, real, intentional action. 10. Let go of what's holding you. Back today, I want to offer you something different. Something more powerful than thinking, doing. Start by writing a letter to your past self. Don't worry about making it poetic or polished. Just be honest. Say the things you've never said out loud, what hurt you, what you did out of fear, what you tried even when you had no clue how. Write it all down, then read it out loud, and after that, decide what to do with it. Tear it up, burn it, or keep it as a symbol that you're finally ready to close that chapter. Next, make a list of all the things that no longer deserve your energy. People, situations, memories, even old phrases you keep repeating in your head that keep holding you back. Write them down, and the next time your mind drifts back into the past, read that list. Remind yourself, I choose where my thoughts go, not my pain, not my past. And if something is still hurting you today, if there's a wound you haven't fully named or let go of, remember what Seneca said, time heals what reason cannot. But make no mistake, time isn't for waiting, time is for transformation, because what you think about each day, that's what you're becoming. And mastering your mind, that is the greatest freedom you'll ever know. Because everything begins there, in what you tell yourself when no one is watching, in the story you repeat every morning about who you are and where you're headed. You don't have to know everything. You just have to start thinking like someone who's already moving forward. And yes, you've seen it over and over again. What you think, you become. So if you've made it this far, leave your commitment in the comments. I'm changing my world through my thoughts. That way, I'll know you're one of the true Stoic warriors who finished this journey. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and like this video so you won't miss what's coming next. And I also invite you to check out the playlist on your screen. It's packed with more insights, stories, and tools to help you navigate life with wisdom and confidence. Click it, and let's keep walking this path together. Until next time, take care and keep embracing your inner
Stoic.